Hi, everybody. My name's Kobe McIntyre. I'm an ice fisherman. I'm here in my shed. And the nice people at Rock Band Land said, "Hey, Kobe, you want to introduce some videos for us today? We're having a premiere, eh?" And I said, "Whoa, yeah, I love it." So we got some videos today. We got a music video, Bing Bong video. We got a story video, Bing Bong video. We got a graphic novel squad video. We're going to start off with a video Bing Bong story, and then a video Bing Bong music, and then a graphic novel video. It's going to be the best time.
How was that, Paul? Did I do the job as you asked?
For centuries, witches and warlocks have prided themselves on their ability to control weather. This special skill is a rite of passage that many of their kind consider the highest of honors.
Magic begins by brewing a special potion containing one key ingredient, the spirit of a fox.
What was once an easy task has become nearly impossible, as the foxes of the desert have slowly vanished.
Each day, Gagama would scour the sandland, hunting down the last remaining fox, Giants.
She will set traps, leave behind poison treats, and even conjured flying dust storms to assist in the capture.
Keen to the search, Giants avoided Gagama and her steed, searching the sky for her presence.
One day while his guard was down, Giants was snacking on some crickets and was surprised to see Gagama plummeting towards him.
With nowhere to hide, he raced in the only direction he could think, towards River Lake Jungle.
Rumored to be filled with ghosts and demons, River Lake Jungle was a place where no desert animal dared to go.
With no other choice, he quickly found himself deep into the jungle, escaping Gagama. Giant's surroundings became dark, and the ground below him became uneven with roots and vines.
The fox was panting a bit and disoriented. He knew from which direction he'd come, but he didn't know where to go next.
"I wouldn't sit there if I was you,"
said a voice that seemed to be coming from a rock.
Suddenly, a lion's head swooped down from the treetops and bit the fox, nearly missing him.
As Giants fled, the rock morphed into a gorilla and quickly gained on the fox and ran beside him.
Okay, that's far enough. You can stop running now. You're safe.
Giants looked over at the gorilla running beside him and stopped, when suddenly he heard Gagama's cackle overhead.
The fox told the girl about Gagama, to which she replied, "You are welcome to stay here in the jungle."
The gorilla named Rosie showed Giant how to avoid the dangers of the jungle creatures.
Meanwhile, Gagama reluctantly approached the jungle, determined to catch that fox. She landed at the edge of the jungle and drank a potion, sending her teeth flying from her mouth.
The teeth sprang to life as she instructed them to find Giants and bring them back to her, alive or otherwise.
The teeth found Giants and bore into his skin. As Giants rolled around on the ground in pain,
Rosie did her best to swat the teeth away, but they would persistently bounce back up on the fox's skin.
In an attempt to fuse their teeth, Rosie changed into a fox and wore them into an open clearing.
Once there, she turned herself back into a rock, smashing her teeth into a found powder.
Sensing her teeth were in danger, Gagama raced into the jungle.
Unwittingly, she had fallen into the gorilla's trap.
Rosie the gorilla bent down and chomped Gagama up in one bite. Giants was finally safe.
Hey, doctor. My kids are having a hard time with this whole COVID nonsense. They're going a little crazy at home, social isolation and the like. Oh, what do you recommend?
Ah, yes, this is hard on the children. I recommend two things. One, put your child in Rock Band Land supergroup. And two, give them ample amounts of death metal. Hey buddy, it's me, Kobe again. I just caught a fish, a nice big one, and now it's time to enjoy a video by a music video ping pong crew for the song River Like Jungle. You can listen to the video now. Watch the video now. You can listen to it and watch it. I just caught a fish.
The two evil witches and warlocks controlling the weather was a rite of passage. They needed the blood of the fox drunk in a potion by the red shore by the warlock who captured it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dark Silhouette. I'm usually lurking in the shadows, but today the nice people at Rock Band Land said, "Hey, Dark Silhouette, come on over, introduce a video." So here I am. We're going to watch a video now by the Graphic Novel Squad, the newest offering from Rock Band Land. They made a really cool video all about cheesy puffs. Who doesn't like cheesy puffs? Well, we all do. That's just a fact. Oh, here it goes. Squid Squad.
The squad of land squid lived on a secluded island in the Bahamas that was free of humans or predators. Life was good, great in fact, as they spent their days basking in the sun and the ocean delivered their food to them. Thanks to the food polluters from around the world, the Squid Squad enjoyed all sorts of cylindrical foods, including hot dogs and sausages, eclairs, spring rolls, and sushi rolls and pickles, but their favorite treat from the sea was cheesy puffs. Though food collection was a job that all the squids took turns doing, when the cheesy puffs were in the surf, each and every squid, even their leader, Org 12, would wade out with their coconut bark nets to catch as many cheesy puffs as they could. Then came the black ships that were captained by right-wing environmental nuts, with their giant, long-armed skimmers that robbed the sea of all the food. When they left, the seas, which were normally speckled with delicious cylindrical foods, were clear blue. Hunger quickly overtook the squid, and though they attempted to get whatever nourishment they could from sucking on cylindrical rocks and cylindrical pieces of driftwood, the Squid Squad began to starve. 2 months later, things got even worse when the redneck poachers' boats arrived. Mr. Tough Man Bobby ordered his men to take every dolphin, moonfish, eel, or whatever sea creature they could find. The Squid Squad was found. They were huddled together under a coconut tree.
Look, Captain! All these squids washed ashore, and they're still alive!
Well, get them in a tank, quickly, before they die. They're paying us for live animals, not for calamari.
Org 12 wanted to fight back, but he knew the rest of the squad was too weak from hunger. Any rash moves would have resulted in their death, so he signaled to the others to do as the poachers said. Mistaken for traditional sea squid, the land squid were captured, put in saltwater tanks in the dark belly of the ship, and then taken on a long voyage on the seas. Land squid are notoriously bad swimmers, and while traveling, they sat uncomfortably on the edge of the tanks. It was cold and dark and frightening. The younger squid cried, and the older squid searched in vain for anything to feed the kids. As Org 12 wondered how he was going to save his squad, a bright red light came from the tank next to him, and a glowing, magical seahorse appeared to the squid. The seahorse had heard the cries and lit the tank to calm the young ones.
I am Light Switch. Who are you and why do you cry? I know it is not the darkness. Darkness is never the source of one's cries. If the absence of light made one cry, why each blink would be accompanied with a tear. Something else must be missing. What is it that you seek?
Thank you for the light. My name is Org 12. I am the leader of the Squid Squad. Our young are hungry, and we have been taken against our will. What do I seek? I seek to return my Squid Squad to our island and have enough cheesy puffs so that our squad never knows hunger again.
Were you captured by humans?
Yes.
They are vile creatures. I have long used my powers to undermine their conquest. But alas, I am old now, too old to do too much. But you, young squid, I could teach you some spells to save your kind and help you find what you seek.
Yes, please.
Not so fast. The spells I use are not my own. They come directly from the Black God. Are you willing to honor the Black God to save your squad?
Yes.
Would you kill to save your squad?
I would.
Dark magic comes at a cost. If I teach you, you must swear to do 2 things. 1, build a church to the Black God. And 2, sacrifice no less than 500 humans.
And if I do those things, will we be returned to our island with all the cheesy puffs we can eat?
That would be the deal, and Scooty Gobble Monuki Kuni Homerch. What? Scooty Gobo Monuki Kuni Homerch. It's a saying of the Black God. It means things always work out, just not in the way that you might expect. Light Switch cast a spell on the young squid to alleviate their hunger. Org 12 spent the rest of the journey to wherever they were going with the seahorse, reciting and memorizing its magical words. The ship eventually landed in a port. The top hatches were opened and the tanks were transported onto trucks. Just before the humans moved their tanks, the seahorse gave Org 12 a shoe with spells written on the tongue and said, "This is the Black God's shoe. Take it and use the spells that I have taught you wisely. And remember, Scooty Gobo Monuki Kuni Homerch." Got it. Thank you, Light Switch. Farewell, Squid. The humans forced the Squid Squad into the tanks, but they couldn't breathe in the water. Org 12 feared they might drown and tried his best to hold his breath and push the younger squid to the top of the tank. They were loaded onto a truck and brought to an underground aquarium in Atlanta, Georgia that was located in the basement of an unnamed factory. The aquarium was noisy from the humming of the factory machines above and the many whirring pumps on the aquarium tanks. The floor was covered with hundreds of mousetraps, which the poachers were careful to not step on as they carried the tanks in and around the large rock that was in the middle of the room in front of the owner's desk. Org 12 couldn't tell what the humans were saying, but he understood that they were arguing. The poachers were yelling at the aquarium owner when the owner grabbed an electric eel from under the counter and charged at the men. The poachers pulled out their daggers and a fight ensued. All of the people and the electric eel were killed in the skirmish, and most of the tanks were blown out too, including the squid's tank. The ground was covered with other sea creatures who were drowning in the air, swimming in the human's blood, and getting snagged on some of the many mousetraps on the floor. The only creatures to survive the melee were the Squid Squad and 15 jellyfish in 15 individual tanks. At first, the jellyfish were afraid of the land squid, but Org 12 assured them that his squad meant them no harm. He told the jellyfish that when they escaped, his squad would help return the jellyfish to the ocean. But first, he had to cast a spell, a church to build, and 500 humans to sacrifice. The land squid rallied behind their leader and built the church in the abandoned aquarium, around the dead humans and the mousetraps. They called the church Scooty Gobo Monuki Kuni Homerch, and to make it official, just in case the Black God was watching, they hung a little sign on the front door. It was noisy in the church because of the factory above, and the squid could practice the spells and the chants without any worry of being heard or discovered. Thanks to Light Switch, the land squid became skilled at a few spells. Org 12 had learned how to make himself appear as a demon, complete with charred, cracked skin with veins of magma flowing below the surface. And the other squid all learned the spell for protective armor, which they would use whenever they went up to the human world to capture people. All of the squid learned the powers of hypnosis, but it took almost the whole squad with their swirling, star-shaped pupils to hypnotize a single person. They'd go out at night and find a lone human, put them under their spell, and then return the humans to the church. There wasn't much space in the church, so Org 12 devised a compactor spell, which put each new person they captured inside one unlucky hypnotized human, who they called Steve. Each time they caught and compacted a person into Steve, Org 12 would walk past the tanks of the nervous jellyfish to tell them, "It won't be long now." Every so often, Steve would bump into a mousetrap and it would snap on his toes, bringing him out of hypnosis and screaming for help. Thankfully, the factory sounds above were so loud that no one outside could hear them, and the squid could re-administer the hypnosis spell. After several weeks of kidnapping, the day finally came when the squid had captured their 500th human. The Squid Squad assembled, and Org 12 instructed them to unpack the other humans from Steve, and then he read the spell that the seahorse had taught him. Nothing happened. He read it again, louder this time, and the humans just stared at him in their hypnotic state. None of them were being sacrificed, and there was no sign of any cheesy puffs. Just then, for the first time since a squid had arrived at the aquarium, the machines in the factory above powered down and went quiet. All of the squid looked to the ceiling, wondering if the spell had stopped them. There was a mighty crack and a scream. Ow! Help
me!
A purple hamster in a robotic suit had his leg trapped in a mousetrap. The screams were so loud and shrill that they were starting to stir the hypnotized humans. Org 12 quickly went and put his tentacles over the purple hamster's mouth, while the other squid worked to pull his leg free.
Who are you and what are you doing here? I am Bing Brogro Shuba, the greatest hamster to ever live. I was here to buy a goldfish, but it looks like you're only selling jellyfish and humans. Are the humans for sale? No, they're not for sale. What are they for then? They're for a spell. What kind of spell? One that would give us a lifetime supply of Cheesy Puffs. But it didn't work. Cheesy Puffs? Yes, they are our favorite food. Why don't you just go upstairs and get some then? What? Upstairs to the Cheesy Puff factory. Follow me.
Bin Bogro led Org 12 up through a hole in the wall to a huge factory with silver machines. It was void of any humans, but full of thousands of bags of Cheesy Puffs. Org 12 was so happy he threw his tentacles around Bin Brogro.
Thank you.
But then reality set in. The spell was supposed to return them back to their island with all the Cheesy Puffs they could ever eat. Now they had the puffs, but no way to get home.
How am I ever going to get all of these Cheesy Puffs back to our island? Why don't you use your humans?
You are a genius. That's it. Scooty Gobo Manuki Kuni Homerch!
What?
Never mind. Thank you, greatest hamster to ever live.
Bin Bogro limped off in search of a goldfish, and Org 12 returned to the church to tell the rest of the Squid Squad the plan. With the humans already hypnotized, Org 12 told all squid to climb on a human's shoulder. He commanded 15 humans to each carry a jellyfish tank, and then led all the humans upstairs and into the factory, where he had the humans pack as many bags of Cheesy Puffs as they could carry in huge black garbage bags. When all were packed up, Org 12 directed the humans to the doors, and as they were leaving, a human tripped the alarm, and Org 12 commanded them to run. The police chased them all the way across Georgia to the Atlantic Ocean, where the humans, on Org 12's order, jumped in and began swimming south. The jellyfish were freed from their tanks and swam alongside Steve, who carried the leader of the Squid Squad. One by one, the humans fell away and drowned in exhaustion. Each time a human disappeared, the squid would collect and tie the floating black bags of Cheesy Puffs to another human's load. When they spotted land, Steve was the last remaining human. He was exhausted and was dragging all the bags of Cheesy Puffs and carried the entire Squid Squad on his back. Steve drowned in the waves, just a few yards from land. The Squid Squad scurried off his back and hurried ashore, pulling in the many hundreds of bags of Cheesy Puffs. They had made it back to their island and had enough Cheesy Puffs that no land squid would ever go hungry. Things had worked out, just not in the way that they had expected.
Hey everybody, Kobe here again. Kobe McIntyre. Just want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed all the videos. The nice people, Rock Band Land, said they gave me a list here. They said, thank you. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you are not on fire. Inside the egg. Just because you have a dog doesn't mean you can fly. And the bugs are your friends. Thank you. Coming down. Coming on down to us. Coming on down to us and the fun. Because that's where it is. Down here in the shed. Bye, everybody.